We're going to start with the posture hold position. Now, this is the most important piece of all of our training, and everything builds from a solid foundation or posture, if you will. So this is the first thing I ever tell to a client. And on top of that, this is where the 15-minute rule comes in, and where we will sort of, once the client demonstrates mastery, we'll get them to come in 15 minutes early and do the program on their own. However, that only occurs once they have demonstrated that mastery to you and they don't have any kind of movement faults or not practicing the wrong positions day in, day out repetitively and causing any kind of problems. So, that being said, here we go. Postural position. So from the front, I'm going to have the client assume a chest up and out and shoulders back and down position, making a fist and squeezing. Now turn to the side. She's going to flex her knees slightly, feet are shoulder width apart, toes are slightly curled up, and the weight in center of gravity is back in the heels. So she's going to slightly bend her knees a little bit more. She's going to get a nice concave arch back. Hips are slightly tilted this way. Then you can draw the abs in tightly to the front, as long as it does not break down the curvature in the spine. Most of our clients are around the age of 50 and beyond, and they have a very poor spine position, very lordotic, and we're trying to get them, humped over rather, and we're trying to get a little bit of a spinal curvature in there. Normally they're so flat back there that arching the back is the last of my concerns, and when they draw in their spine, it causes them to flatten out even worse. So I'm more focused on educating them on the back side of the spine there to engage those erectors, and then drawing the abs in, if you will, to have a strong, stable position braced around the entire spine. So nice and tight there, and one way I like to cue that is if I was going to punch them in the stomach, how are they going to squeeze and resist that? So she has a tight, stable core all the way around her body there. So not that we're going for excessive extension there, but more than the average bear. Most people we see, 80% of Americans have back pain, and a lot of them is just from that really faulty, relaxed, lazy posture there. So nice and tight in the spine there. As you can see, she's got a nice stable position. I can put a barbell on her back. That shows me already she could probably hold a barbell on her back to squat or do a lunge, etc. She's squeezing, holding nice and tight and firm, and she should almost be shaking because she's squeezing with everything she's got. I should be able to push her around and fight her positions to test and see how tight and stable she really is. Likewise, when she does a standing overhead lift, how much stability does she have there? Likewise, it's reference points. When I say, I need you to hold a tight postural position, she knows that means chest up and out, sternum up and out, shoulder blades back and down, squeeze tight, chest is up and out, butt is back, back is slightly arched, abs are drawn in, knees are flexed, weights in the heels, toes are up, nice and firm. So she can take a punch, she can take a bullet, she can shoot a basket from there, she can do a jump, she can do a squat, she can do a deadlift. If she was laying down on a bench there, that would be the appropriate shoulder position to do a bench press. Go ahead and do a bench press motion with your hands, keeping the shoulder blades back. You can see there, that's going to prevent a lot of that rotator cuff pain from rounding forward. So we're also trying to teach that position there. Likewise, when she does a back row, show me a back row there. We're trying to keep those scapula pulled back and down tight. A lot of times it's coached to open up the shoulder blades and relax the shoulders. You know, in bodybuilding, sure, go right ahead, but for this, we're trying to teach real stable scapula and kind of fight that wing scapula there and keep this really tightly engaged and get her nice and tall and long. And sometimes I like to say, well, once you're in this position, I like to do the whole idea of taking a string and pulling the spine nice and long to outer space, basically. So lengthening the spine there, but nice, strong, stable. So to me, this is an athletic neutral. You know, neutral normally is teach us straight, but we have a slightly curved lower back, abs in, but not at the expense of losing that low back arch. So that, to me, is an athletic weightlifting neutral position. So knees can be slightly flexed. There, good. And generally, they hold this for a 30-second isometric count, but generally, I just will count inside my head or out loud, depending on how talkative that we are and where our rapport level is at. But go ahead and relax. Okay, so she's held that for quite a long time. She's probably a little tired, but that's what, again, JTLC stands for joint, tendon, ligament, and central nervous system. This is one way to prime up the central nervous system to get it awake and ready to move. So one more time from the front. So postural position, please. Chest is up and out, shoulder blades are back and down, low back is tight and arched, abs are drawn in, the hips are slightly tilted back there, flex knees, feet are shoulder width apart, toes are curled up, eyes are straight forward. And then the stability sturdy test. A lot of times, go ahead and turn this way. The older guys that are really tight in the chest and have poor ability to arch their back in the upper thoracic area, they're going to be stuck right in there, and they're just going to think that you're squeezing and tensing the arms. It's not about the arms. It's the rhomboids and mid-traps there that are going to, and the external rotators of the shoulder, they're going to bring the shoulder blades down and in, nice and tight there. So palpate that, cue that in, get a bony protuberance there, and peel back and down tight, and check that scapula so you see if you can fit your fingers in between those shoulder blades there. Nice and tight, nice and tight. Really reinforce that tension. 80% of the people I walk in the gym and see, they're just kind of holding this, and they really don't get the concept of that. So over-exaggerate the position to really make it stand out and where all their pieces should be. And even talk them through chest up and out, shoulder blades back and down, eyes forward, back's nice and tight, knees are flexed. That's how I'm going to take the bar for a back squat, a deadlift, a jump, clean and jerk, you name it. So that's why the postural position is so important. That's the first piece. Go ahead and relax.